Welcome into the NBA Morning Deuce for Tuesday, December 2nd. It's a cold day down here in South Florida, Alex.
Yeah, it was cold down there.
It was in the 50s.
Oh, no, not the 50s.
People were wearing winter coats down here today.
I think we dipped into the high 30s today, so you're not going to get any sympathy out of me.
Listen, I don't miss that shit. When I lived, even in Charlotte, it was cold, but when I lived in New York, that is the one thing I don't miss. That cold weather is brutal.
Yeah, no good. No bueno.
We got a pretty packed show today, Alex. We got some headlines, some game announcements, some injuries, got some stuff to talk about. We're going to do Western Conference win totals. We did the East yesterday. And actually, one of our under picks is already looking pretty great in terms of just regular season from the East. And then we have a new segment that we're going to try to do. I don't know how much faith I have in it being a successful segment, just based on the premise. But after yesterday, at the end of the show yesterday, we talked about we had a viewer who commented, a viewer named Andre Taylor.
Andre, yeah.
Andre Taylor was his YouTube name, and he left us a very convincing to him message that the Lakers were going to make a trade and that it was going to happen this week. And I'll recap that when we do the segment, but basically we said we're not going to talk about it unless it happens, and then he's our insider. But then we got this influx. I get all these DMs, right?
They have to be related, right? They got to be.
I don't know if they're really. No, I'm just saying. No, from people saying like, no, I do have information, but they won't leave. They don't want to leave comments because they want people to actually hear it or see it. So they insisted on coming on the show. So we're gonna try to have one of these people on the show at the end and see if they're full of shit.
Okay. I can't imagine what could possibly go wrong, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. So we'll see. Maybe we'll find an insider in the rough. An insider in the rough.
What are the chances? Okay, the YouTube comments where the best things in life happen. You know?
Right. No, it's not YouTube comments. These are DMs at NBA Morning Deuce. People that went to the Twitter after they heard us talk about a YouTube comment.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, what could go wrong? All right. But first, let's talk headlines. Should we start with the good news, the good headline, or the bad headline?
Yeah. Let's start with the bad, and then the good will cheer us up, right, Joe?
Okay. Now, I don't know how bad this actually is, but so today was first day. It's like training camp, but they can't do team workouts. They can only do like individual workouts, but it's the first day that it could be mandatory to have players in the facilities or whatever. The Warriors and the Wizards both announced today that the Warriors had 2 players that came to their facility or that were tested positive for COVID. The Wizards had 1 player. The Warriors, instead of starting their individual workouts today, will now start their individual workouts. Or excuse me, instead of starting Tuesday when everybody else did, they will now start Wednesday. Today, if you're listening to this on Wednesday. And then I guess their team workouts start Monday. But Bob Myers in his comments didn't sound totally sure on the details of when things can start, but did sound like he basically made it sound like this is it. It's good that it's happening now because this is basically what the protocols are put in place for. And, guys, we're finding out that the guys who have been away got it. They can quarantine whatever, and we can get back to business.
Okay. That's one take, I guess. Here's my question, and it actually came to me today when I was thinking about this whole thing. In the NFL, when somebody is tested positive, they do all this contact tracing, and like anybody that's been in close contact needs to get tested and could be held out, that sort of thing. Well, for the NBA, if you practiced with that, if that guy practiced and tests positive, contact tracing, the whole team has to be a concern, correct?
Yeah, but I guess during the season and during training camp, yes, but these guys are all coming back from the first time since the offseason.
Right. Well, so first, the fact that we've got 2 for the Warriors, Wizards positive tests. I don't think I'm super concerned. I don't know. Like,
I will say this. When they went to the bubble, like before the bubble, players were testing positive, right?
Yeah.
And then by the time they got done with quarantine, there was no more. They went like 2 months or 3 months without. Now they're in a bubble.
Right.
So I think I'm not overly concerned. If we get into starting Monday, if we get to like December 11th when preseason starts and players are consistently testing positive, then I'll be concerned. It doesn't surprise me that a bunch of NBA players with nothing to do and during an extended off season and living their own lives, that some of them are going to get it. People get it. When you're out in the world, it's going to happen. Now, once they are back to business, if lots of guys start getting it and there's consistent positive cases, which is totally possible, we're seeing it in the NFL, a lot more players on each team. So it's a lot harder to say, hey, 55 players, stay in your houses at all times unless you're at the facility. With NBA teams, it's 15 or I guess 16 or 17 if they extended the roster. But I'm not overly concerned yet. I kind of anticipated this.
This entire time, like I thought baseball didn't stand a chance. I didn't think football would make it past week 6. So I've been like super skeptical the whole time through, and these leagues have pulled it off. So it's probably me being pessimistic as usual, but I'm concerned. I'm just worried.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's actually assuming every team had to report on Tuesday. If there's only 3 in the entire league, that's actually not bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good takeaway, I guess.
Yeah. So, no, we'll see. That those are the only ones so far. So I'm okay with, I'm not okay with it, but it's, could be worse. It could be like the NFL, who are limping and barely making it to the end of their season.
Yeah.
On a positive note today, the NBA announced the Christmas Day games, which usually isn't Christmas Day is usually 3 games.
That sounds right.
Is it always 5 games? Because there's 5 on here, and it is.
I do not think it is 5. I think is the most. Maybe it was 4. I don't know. I just feel like they're all awesome games too. I just feel like if every year they were giving us 5 awesome games, we would remember. Like it's more than usual. To your point. Yeah.
So we got headline game that'll be the 8 p.m. game is Lakers Mavs. That great game.
Incredible.
LeBron. And obviously AD. We'll see. I don't know if Porzingis is healthy. Also, now here's the other thing we have to take into account with these Christmas Day games. That's 4 days after the season starts. Will everybody be playing by then? Like, will LeBron sit out the beginning of the season?
Is that just coming from what Danny Green said, or is there more to? Okay, I was gonna say, I don't think LeBron's gonna miss any of this. I don't know.
I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, he could, and I guess he's done it so many times where his teams figure it out midway through the season that it wouldn't be the end of the world.
And they still have Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And Dennis Schroeder and Trez. And it's going to be a pretty good team this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a pretty good team. You got the Heat, I think, are hosting and the Pelicans, which is also interesting coaching, Stan Van Gundy against the Heat. It's his former team. I'm sure anytime he coaches against the Heat, he has a little more motivation because Pat Riley basically said, get the fuck out of here. I'm coaching this team to a championship, and got rid of him like mid-season. And then they won a title without him. So I'm sure there's always added motivation when he gets to play them.
Yeah, I feel like he has not forgotten about that.
No way. No, I'm sure he doesn't hold ill will towards the organization because they also, Pat Riley made him put him in a position to be what he is.
Mm-hmm.
But they did get rid of him during a championship season. Warriors Bucks, another one that's, it's interesting because we don't know what the Bucks are yet, and they'll only be a game or 2 into their season. And the Warriors, obviously, now totally different without Clay, but we get to see Steph back from injury, and we get to see Kelly Oubre on Christmas.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to.
That's a Christmas present.
That is a present. Talk about a bow on top. But we're going to see James Wiseman too. I'm excited. I feel like James Wiseman
on a team not the Pelicans in a long time, for the first time in a long time.
Yep,
that's cool. Yeah, Wiseman. I'm not expecting him to be anything special this year.
Yeah, I'm not banking on it. Maybe he comes out and he shocks everybody. I don't know.
Oh, I don't think it'd be shocking if he was. Just I saw the little bit I saw him play in college. I know he's talented. I just think it might take a little bit of time to put it together. Nets Celtics is a good one. Two teams that could easily be playing for an Eastern Conference championship this year. And then Clippers Nuggets. That's a cool game. That's a cool game. Clippers getting to play the Nuggets for the first time since giving up a 3-1 lead.
It's getting completely embarrassed, and basically getting their coach fired.
That's true. That'll be an interesting one. I wonder if they just come out and just dog walk them, just destroy them.
I've never heard that term before. Dog walk them?
Isn't that the term?
I've never heard that before. Sounds kind of cool.
I don't think I just made that term.
Okay. I've heard wipe the floor with them.
Well, yeah.
I feel like you're combining. Okay. Well,
dogs get walked.
Right, but that's more of like a polite thing. It's not like a...
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go out there and politely beat them.
Okay.
Isn't dog walk a term? Maybe
I'm
not.
telling you, I've never heard that, but it could be a term. I don't know.
Then what term am I thinking of?
I don't know. I feel like it's not that, though.
Well, I was wondering if they're going to go out there and politely, respectfully...
Yeah, like what?
Beat the Nuggets. Okay, well, I'm going to do some research.
Maybe our guest will know when he comes on. We'll ask him.
I feel like I've heard that term before. I don't think I just made it up, unless there's another term that I'm thinking of that I'm messing up. That's entirely possible.
Okay.
Butt smoke.
Now that is a phrase.
That's a term that you've heard. I wonder if they'll go out there and absolutely butt smoke them.
Could happen.
And okay, so that's the last game. All right, a couple more headlines. This one, not as people were talking about it, so I put it in here. Kevin Durant had an interview with Cassie Hubbard where he basically said that like people make up stories all the time, and anybody that's saying that he spoke with Kevin Durant about being on the Nets is lying.
Yeah,
making things up.
I don't have any sort of problem with Kevin Durant or whatever. But I don't believe much that the guy says. You know what I mean? Like I think he doesn't care for the media, which is totally fine. But like this sort of thing, it's just with a grain of salt for me.
Yeah,
it's taken with a grain of salt. I mean, KD was like, he had a bunch of burner accounts. Like his track record for the truth is not excellent. So
yeah,
but it's not a good look for our boy Farbod. Who didn't he say like they were
that it was a lock?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I should change this lower, shouldn't I? Yeah, I wasn't listening to you. What was your take?
That I don't have a problem with KD, but I just don't believe a word he says to the media.
Yeah, I kind of don't believe him either. Yeah. And also, like, that's what I thought you said. I just got that sidetracked by a textual message.
Okay. I could have sworn you were Googling whether dog walk was a term.
Oh no, I should have. And also, like, there's no way, there's not a world in which, if this decision is being discussed, that Kevin Durant is not at least in the mix of
like
the
text, or something.
That Sean Marks isn't like, are you cool with this? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't buy it. All right, last thing before we do Western Conference win totals. Kemba Walker out till January, which, you know, they report it like that and makes it sound like this is a long time, but January is 8 days after the season or 9 days after the season starts. So I don't know what point in January, but I would be a little concerned that he has to do anything like this. He looked terrible in the playoffs. So obviously this seems like it's something potentially lingering from that. It's on his knee. So
they're sticking stem cells in people's knees now. That's kind of amazing. I didn't know. Is that?
Yeah, I want to double check that it's his knee, but I'm almost positive it's from the knee thing that he had in the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, not ideal for.
No, definitely not.
That was the one that I was saying. It feels like that makes our under for the Celtics, at least for the, regular season, look real.
So, okay, I was confused in the beginning of the show, and you said, I'm pretty sure I took the over for the Celtics. So I think I said the Celtics could win the East, be the number 1 seed in the East.
We according to mine, we both said under.
Really?
According to what I wrote
down.
down.
No, I said Heat. That's who I'm thinking. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we both took the under. So,
okay.
I mean, Kemba wasn't great for them in the playoffs, but they lost Gordon Hayward. Now they lose Kemba for a while. Well, whatever you thought about either of them, somebody's got to handle the ball, and it can't be Marcus Smart for 48 minutes. So,
yeah, it cannot be.
As good as
and Brad Wanamaker is in Golden State now, right?
Yeah. So going to be relying on some young guys and some rookies. Langford, if he's healthy, yeah. So we'll have to see how that impacts them. But hopefully Kemba gets back to 100% because you could see in the playoffs how important he was for them. Like they're just not as good when he's not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. All right, let's do win totals.
Oh, same deal. Cracking my neck for these picks. Did you hear? I actually just cracked my neck pretty good.
I heard something. Yeah. Okay. Lakers. Let's start with the Lakers. The interesting thing about the Lakers at 48 is they're not like I guess it's because it's the East and the West. Vegas still set the Bucks higher than the Lakers at 49.
Yeah, but okay. I was going to ask. Bucks were 49. I mean, it's such like a negligible difference. But yeah, it is weird. And that definitely has to do with the West. I mean, the Lakers are going to have a tougher schedule for sure.
Here's last year's. Well, it should be coming up here in a second. Last year's standing.
That's really impressive.
They played 71 games last year. They won 52. So Vegas has them dropping off by 4 wins with one more game. I think they got better. Here's my only
concern here. Yeah, I think I know what you're going to say. They got to figure it out a little bit to start, right? I mean,
no. Okay. No. My concern is that last year LeBron was a revenge because he didn't go to the playoffs. It was the LeBron revenge tour. He came out on a mission to play every game and prove like I still got it. I'm still the best player in the NBA. Now they did it. Now he can go back to saving it a little bit for the playoffs, resting a little bit, not playing every single game of the year. So I could actually see them finishing like second or third in the West. So
okay.
I think I'm going to take the under.
Okay. Well, here's something that I'm making up right now in order to convince myself to take the over. I believe LeBron will be the oldest MVP in league history. Like LeBron hasn't won an MVP in a while. I could just see him being like, I need an MVP. I need another MVP. I'm going balls out for another 72-game season.
Yeah, I'll tell you the thing he definitely has going for him in that regard is that it's not going to Giannis.
Right. Yeah. So you're not going to have a three-peat. We established that recently.
You're taking over?
I'm taking the over. Yeah. But like with 49 wins, it's so close. It's it's going to be dead on. So I'll say over for Lakers.
All right. Clippers, 47 wins.
I'm going under. Not that they're going to be bad, but like new coach. I'm trying to. I know it's not like a total restart for them. Just weird. Something. It just have such a bad taste in my mouth after the Denver series that knocked them out. Yeah. I just feel like they're going to have like a bad month. A bad stretch where they're figuring things out. So I'll go under for Clippers.
Under. 47. They won 49 games last year and played 72. Are they worse than last year? I don't think so. Like, I think they're right around last year, if not a little more talented in the way that the pieces fit with Serge. A decent scorer in Luke Kennard. And, we'll see what happens with Batum. They re-signed Reggie Jackson yesterday, which doesn't mean anything, but it's just depth.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go over.
Okay.
But like barely over. Like, I think they'll be right around where they were last year. But I could definitely see them finishing first or second in the West again.
Yeah, definitely. I'm concerned about
playoffs is where I see them falling apart.
Yeah. We heard those reports about how Kawhi, one of his big factors for going to the Clippers was his relationship with Doc Rivers. So now that it's Tyronn Lue, like maybe there's some friction, not friction, but maybe it's not a smooth transition to them like being on the same page right away. So
I gotta imagine though that, again, I don't think Ty Lue gets hired unless Kawhi's okay with it.
Right.
So because Kawhi is a player option, Paul George is a player option. So everything they do now is to make sure that those guys stay happy to stay there after the season.
Right.
If they're not happy, Lawrence Frank's fired. This whole organization's fucked because they basically mortgaged their entire future on those two.
Yeah.
So, all right, Nuggets, 43.5 wins. They won 46 games last year. And they played 73 games.
Correct.
They lost Jeremy Grant, right? That's it?
Yeah, they lost Jeremy Grant and got some. They had a decent signing.
Oh, they brought in JaMychal Green.
Yeah, okay. So like another, probably a step down in terms of a key role player, but not. JaMychal Green, he's a good role player. He's fine.
He's fine. People, I mean, I think he got way overhyped being on the Nuggets, but yeah, he's fine. I think obviously in terms of them taking the next step, Michael Porter Jr. is going to be the guy, right? Mm-hmm. He's a big factor. What does he be? What's his development like? Maybe even Bol because they don't have a rim protector.
Yeah.
But I don't see them being, again, it's the same thing with yesterday, man. Other than I just don't see Denver being 3 wins worse.
Right.
I got to go over.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with it. There's no reason for me to think this team's going to be worse. Jamal Murray he became a different player in the playoffs. I'm not going to he's not going to play that way in the regular season, or else he'll be an all-star and first team NBA. But
it's hard to be an all-star in the West, I guess. But
he got better in that span of time. So I think in that regard, they're a better team entering this season if he can retain that confidence. I mean, Jokic and Murray in the 2-man game, that's always going to be enough. They can win any night because of that. And
sure.
And they have continuity, great coach. I'll take the over.
Didn't I mention Jokic as a sleeper MVP?
You said sleeper face of the NBA in 5 years, which I did not necessarily agree with.
That's funny. Yeah, it's probably not true, but I'll stand by it.
Sleeper, strong on the sleeper in all caps. I would say.
Well, and he looks sleepy.
And that's what you meant. He's he's going to be the asleep.
He's going to be the sleepy of the NBA in 5 years.
Okay. that I buy.
Okay. Jazz 43 wins.
That's tough. That one's really tough. It's because for me, I've just never been a huge believer in Donovan Mitchell. I keep waiting for him to really fall off and his rookie season being a flash in the pan. That's clearly not the case. He's clearly incredible. My boy Gobert is apparently. I mean, what's the latest on him? He's not getting moved anytime soon. They're deciding on whether to sign him long term.
Yeah, he's still there. And
he's I know he's still there. Yeah, man. I will say under only because the West is so good and teams at the bottom got better, like the Suns. Well, the Thunder got worse, but Blazers got a bit better. I'm going under.
That's why I'm trying to pull up Utah's roster, and it's taking forever. But underrated here is, I believe they brought back Derek Favors. Yeah. So, I mean, he was really good for them, and him and Gobert were really dominant as rim protectors, as a defensive unit. So, I think their defenses might get even better. It wasn't the greatest last year, like it normally is, but it was still really good. 44, what is it? 43. That's a tough one.
This is one I'm just certain I would not actually bet on. Let's put it that way.
What did you say?
I said the under because of the strength of the West.
43. But I see it's another one where I don't think they're worse, so I'm going to go over.
Okay.
But again, I think it's just they're right around where they were last year, so 44 could be the number again, Mavs 41.5, I think is low.
Yeah, I'm going through this list before
I don't know
the show. Say it again.
Porzingis, though, we don't know.
Yeah. To me, this was the one I'm most confident about in terms of the over. I mean, Luka, he's not even as good as he's going to be. Like, he's going to get better this season. I'm confident in it. So,
but you're confident in the over, assuming that Porzingis is healthy.
I mean, if Porzingis misses some games here and there, like he normally does, I'm still confident in the over. I just think that number's too low. If Porzingis is really messed up, then that's.
Well, I'm saying healthy enough to play.
Yeah, I still think Luka's good enough, dude. I really do. Like,
Mavericks 8 hours ago, Mavericks star Kristaps Porzingis out until at least January following right knee surgery.
Okay, well, we said January is not very far.
At least it says.
Yeah. No, I'm confident. Mavs will win more than 41 games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take the over too, but it's like skeptical because that's the. I mean, I in a 72 win in a 72. Yeah, Luka's fucking good, man. They might do it either.
They're getting Dwight Powell back. I think Josh Richardson was a really sneaky under the radar move for them. That was a great move, I thought.
They still have Tim Hardaway. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to go with the over.
Okay.
Who's next? Blazers 40.5. They won 35 games last year. Vegas loves. They played 74 games.
Mm-hmm.
So got to take that into account. But Vegas loves their roster changes this year.
They really do. Yeah.
That's a big jump.
They get Cantor back. They get Robert Covington as a huge addition. That number seems too high for me for how good the West is. So I'll take the under for the Blazers.
We have to take this into account, though. Now, I probably should have said this off the top. Rockets are currently off the board.
Yeah, and that's fair.
But that could mean they could be anticipating the Rockets being blown up and giving more wins to some of these teams.
Yeah. Could, yeah. Especially in the West. But it's a true wild card. I don't know.
I thought you'd be more impressed with that insight. But I guess
I'm blown away. I'm blown away. But no, I had already considered that in all of my assessments in this episode.
Oh, you really studied up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Sorry, I'm adjusting my cord here. It's making lots of noises. Yeah, 40.5. And I'll take the under also.
Okay.
I do like Covington, but I don't know that they got a whole lot better. They could, I mean, maybe I can see them being a little above 500, which would be like 38, 39 wins.
Right. Yeah, 40 is just a little bit high for me.
Yep. Warriors are at 39 wins.
39. This is another one I'm confident in the over. I know they lost Klay Thompson, but like 39, that means they're 39 and 34, correct? No, my math is horrible here. 39
and 33.
39 and 33. I think they're just going to be better than that. I think they've got 40 wins easy. I wouldn't be surprised if they won 42, 43 games. Like, I think they're better than the Jazz. I still do.
Well, we haven't seen how good Steph is. We haven't seen how healthy he is. He has to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. But it's just, yeah, this is a hard one too. I think they probably are like a 40, 41 win team. So I'm probably going to lean over, but I'm not confident of it because even though I know Kelly Oubre is good, I don't know how him and Andrew Wiggins, how that all fits together.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team's just okay. Obviously they have Draymond, but there's not like a whole lot in the cupboard there other than that.
Good coach.
Okay. Wiseman, if Wiseman's really good, but like, mm-hmm. You know, I honestly don't even, I guess we could try to look at their roster real quick. My computer's acting up a little bit. I'm not really sure. Like, I don't even remember who all is on their roster. Like Wanamaker.
Yeah, that was a nice pickup. Kevon Looney, who I just think is such a solid defender. Like, he's truly a guy that can guard maybe all five. I mean, it's a great defender. Kent Bazemore, I forgot about him completely.
Yeah, this roster is not very good outside of like their top 5 players.
But their top 5 is really, really good. So depending on how healthy Steph is. It's a while. I don't know why. Maybe I shouldn't be as confident.
But I'm also considering James Wiseman in that top 5.
Okay. Yeah, you're bouncing Clay.
Well, I have to. He's not playing.
Right. Yeah. I'm still confident.
I'm going to go under.
Okay.
I'm going to go under. Under 39 wins for the Warriors. Whew. I don't feel good about it. But I do feel good about the Suns going over 38. So that's where things get a little nutty.
I'll take the Suns over by like a game, like 39-40.
I love any Chris Paul team in the regular season.
Great point. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know, like he just did it with the Thunder where it's like, oh, is he going to be able to figure it out and gel? Yes. Like he can step into any situation and succeed in the regular season for sure.
And here's the other thing you have to take into account about Phoenix. Since they went to Orlando, they haven't lost a game.
No, they're still 8-0.
They're still 8-0 since the NBA, since COVID-19 became a thing, since COVID-19 ruined the year 2020.
Undefeated.
The Suns are still having the best season of their lives, the best year of their lives. They're still undefeated.
Right.
Can they continue and stay undefeated in 2021?
They might be able to stay undefeated in 2020, and then the calendar turns and they lose a couple games.
I think I'm banking on them never losing again.
Oh, okay.
I think
that's an over for you.
The antidote for COVID is the Phoenix Suns. Although
actually in the sunlight, you know.
Here's a problem though. No Kelly Oubre.
Right. Well, it's going to be.
He didn't play in the bubble.
Right. So maybe it doesn't matter. So they'll be less enjoyable to watch because no Kelly Oubre, but
Suns are staying undefeated.
I'm going over.
Pelicans, you know, and 35.5. They won 30 games last year. That's a tough one.
That is tough, man. I'd say under, and they win like 35 games. Like they're just under 500. I can't believe I'm saying it because I've been so high on Pelicans. I do not like that Drew Holiday trade. I know they got picks and shitload of picks and stuff.
Yeah, losing Drew hurts.
If they had Drew Holiday, obviously that number would be affected big time, but I'd be very confident that they would be kind of like almost a lock for the playoffs.
Right.
So I'll say the under ever so slightly for Pelicans.
Yeah, I'm going to go under also. The Drew thing, I think they're going to be super competitive in every game and lose a lot of close games.
Makes sense.
But if Ingram takes even another leap, like you think he could, maybe within the next few years, that could change.
Yeah.
But not having Drew at end of games is going to hurt them, I think.
Yeah.
Spurs, 31 wins. I think we can probably fly through the rest of these teams, right?
Yeah. I'm going to go over for the Spurs. I think Pop's only been under 500. Like maybe it was just last year. It was the first time ever or something insane. I think they're going to be better than that this year.
Yeah. I think their only major loss was like Bryn Forbes. I think pretty much the rest of their team is back from last year.
Yeah. Now they could make a major move at the deadline, which could mess this whole thing up, but
yeah,
maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, they won 32 games last year. I'm going to go under. You just convinced me to go under.
Okay, I'm going over. I think Murray was hurt a lot last year.
anticipating that trade.
Okay.
So, Wolves 30 wins.
I'll say under.
10 wins better.
I know, that's why.
11 wins better with D'Angelo Russell. Like, they're going to be better, but I don't think they're going to be that much better. Right? Give me the under.
Yeah, take the under there.
Unless Anthony Edwards is the best player in the NBA. Grizzlies 30 wins. I can't believe the Wolves 30 wins. That's crazy.
This Grizzlies one is like, I'm 100% taking the over for the Grizzlies.
Got to see how healthy Jaren Jackson Jr. is. But if he's back from his injury and he's healthy, then I agree.
Yeah. No, so that one I actually might bet some of my real American dollars on.
Hard-earned cashish.
Yeah. Yeah, my Skrilla.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Skrilla. Sure. Yeah. All right. Last two. Kings.
Under. They're going to be really, really bad.
Just losing Bogdanovich makes them 5 wins worse.
No, I don't think Buddy Hield is going to be there. I mean, De'Aaron Fox get hurt. Anybody can get hurt, obviously. So I guess that's not fair to put that into your assessment. But I think the Kings stink.
Who's their
You know
coach?
what they say? If you have two head coaches, you have none. Right?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's the saying.
Well, here's the thing: the Kings are going to get dog walked a lot this year.
Oh boy. Okay.
So I'll go under also, I guess. And then the last one is the Thunder, 24 wins. Under?
Way under, because Sam Presti will make damn sure they do not win 24 games. I mean, that's just a fact.
I know. Like the Warriors won 15 games last year.
Right.
And they were playing like G League guys, but I mean, the T-Wolves won 19 games, and they're worse than I think the T-Wolves were.
Right. I mean, the Thunder are dead set on being horrible this year. So why wouldn't you take the under on that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. And then obviously we said the Rockets are off the board, so no pick there yet. So we'll see what happens. We'll make a pick, I guess, at some point once that gets released. All right. That's it for over-unders. Again, if you guys watch the episode or you listen to the episode and you disagree with us one way or the other, or you want to convince us to change our picks, leave a comment after you hit the like button right there. Or maybe it's there. I don't know.
It's all flipped. I'm not sure.
It's so weird. See,
your left hand. Is this my left
there? But actually, I should be saying Alex is
my
there.
Left hand touching my right ear.
Yeah, it's all so weird. TV. Yeah. Crazy. I guess
how those weathermen do it, dude.
It's wild. All right, so we have a new set. I don't know. I guess that's going to be a recurring thing because there's so many people. They sent us DMs after yesterday. So just to recap, if you didn't catch the very beginning or you zoned out, which is very possible listening to me talk, yesterday on the show, 2 days ago, in fact, one of our YouTube commenters named Andre Taylor, he left a comment and it said, it was a very confident comment, right? It was about a trade. It wasn't like a trade rumor he heard, I guess, or I don't know. So basically he said, Rob Pelinka has another trade up his sleeve. From what I understand, the Lakers are, and then he said this whole trade thing that both of us didn't think was a good trade for the Hawks, involving John Collins and the Hawks not getting a great deal back. And then he said, with training camp starting, I bet the trade happens in the next few days. And we said, look, we're not going to discuss this trade as if it's a real possibility because this is just some guy on YouTube telling us that he's confident that a trade's going to happen. But if it does happen, he becomes our insider and he becomes the insider. Little did we know that we were going to get this influx of DMs at NBA Morning Deuce on Twitter of listeners who claim to have inside information about these teams, right? And there was just like a bunch of them all at once. And I was like, okay, but they won't tell me what they are unless they can come on and actually say what it is because they want, They want the world to hear it. They don't want it to be just like buried in the DMs and us report it. They want to be the one to say it with their voice.
I get it. Yeah.
So I brought one on today, and I think if it goes decent, we could bring, there was a bunch of them. So I think we could bring a bunch of them on, right?
Okay.
If it goes well. So this guy, and now see, he didn't tell me what his trade was. And now seeing his name, I'm a little more skeptical. I'm going to bring him in. He just got on the stream. He's been waiting. This is one of our listeners. This is Sandre Staler, which is a strange name. Sandre, can you hear us all right? Thank you for joining.
I can hear you guys. Alex, Joey, thanks for having me on the pod. So excited to be here. NBA Morning Deuce coming at you.
All right. Well, so for the listeners, Sandre. Well, first of all, Sandre, am I saying so? The spelling of your name is strange. It's S''A. So is it Sandre or Andre?
It's Sandre, and Staler is actually it's an old family name.
Okay. Well, so it is Staler because Staler is actually spelled S''T.
It's mildly confusing. Okay, but it's an old family name, okay. And that's you call it strange, I call it tradition.
Okay, fair enough. Sandre Staler, everybody. Alex, you got something?
Yeah. Why did you write anonymous for your name here? If you've already given us your name, I'm completely baffled. Is that for comedic effect or what?
In this business, it's all about protecting your sources. All right. And you can talk to my dear friends Mike Wazowski and the ShamWow guy, and they'll tell you got to keep your sources anonymous. Says it right there on the bottom of the screen.
Oh, did the word sources get cut off? Is that?
So wait, is that also why you're wearing a full COVID mask and your hat brim is pulled down below your eyes?
Yeah, man, you can't be too safe out here. I got to protect my sources. If they can't see the face, the sources are safe, and that's trademarked. You can't use that. That's mine.
Oh. If you can't see the face, the sources are safe, Alex.
Absolutely. Trademarked. Sandre Staler.
Okay.
All right. Sandre Staler. All right. So, Sandre, you were very adamant in this message that you sent me that you have a trade like that this other guy, Andre, full of shit, but that you have a real trade.
Oh, I got some heat for you. I'm coming in hot and I'm ready to break some news. Okay. Sean Marks, this guy, he's got another trade up his sleeve. All right. And from what I understand, we got Kevin Durant. We got Kyrie Irving. We got a whole mess of future draft picks on the move. They're heading down south. They're going to Houston for James Harden and Russell Westbrook. We're getting the band back together, baby.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess there's a few things.
No, you didn't vet this person at all, I'm assuming.
Well, wait,
I assumed you maybe had like a chat with the guy before.
No, I didn't chat. I got a DM and I was like, all right, come on the show. So there's a few things that we have to unpack from that. First and foremost, Sandre, you said we're getting the band back together, but we are also trading Kevin Durant and bringing in Russell Westbrook and James Harden. What do you mean by we're getting the band back together?
Yeah, it's two separate bands staying together, changing locations. If you want me to get specific, I can't say too much because I don't want to expose my sources.
Got it. Okay, we can't go too far into what the bands are, the band names in that type of
flip-flop scenario. Joe, you've been around.
Now, I noticed, Sandre, that you started off your rumor here almost exactly the way Andre. You said Sean Marks has another trade up his sleeve, and from what I understand,
that caught my ear as well. That
is almost word for word the way Andre Taylor. Which is weird how similar your names are. He said Rob Pelinka has another trade up his sleeve, and from what he understands, is that just a coincidence?
It's got to be pure coincidence. You keep bringing up this guy Andrew Tyler, whatever his name is. I'd never heard of him before.
No, it's Andre Taylor. It rhyme. It's dead. It's unbelievable. It's uncanny how similar your names are.
Things rhyme out there, man. It's a weird world. There's lots of words.
Your voice sounds familiar. Have we met before this?
Not that I'm aware of. I've listened to your podcast, so maybe that's where you're getting the familiar voices from.
So just to be clear, Kevin Durant is going to be traded before he ever plays a single game with the Nets. They've given up on him.
Oh, absolutely. You don't know if that guy's healthy or not. What do we know? We're not doctors out here. Steve Nash is not a doctor. Sean Marks, certainly not a doctor. All right. If you're not wheeling and dealing in the NBA, you're not going anywhere. It's the Wild West out there in the East, baby. All right. So and from what I understand, okay, this thing's got to get done right now because here's another
here he goes again with
bonus info. Camp is starting this week. And you got to get the ball rolling.
So you think it's going to happen this week? From what I understand.
And
there he goes again with that phrase.
That is that very distinct phrase from what I understand. Now let me
comment from where I'm from.
Yeah, let me say where are you from?
Yeah, where are you from? What is that?
Where you're from?
I can't tell you that. All right, I got sources I got to protect out here.
Okay.
Right, but they're not necessarily, that wouldn't give anything away. I'm just like, I'm from Philly. Like, that has nothing to do with my sources.
You're a braver man than I am, Alex.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, so let me ask you this then. Off the top of the show, we discussed how Kevin Durant basically has been denying that he had any discussion with James Harden about joining the Nets. Do your sources indicate that that's probably true and that Kevin Durant's been kept in the dark in all this because really the deal has been him leaving New Jersey? Is that what your sources are telling you?
Well, I mean, in this business, you can only trust your own sources. So I don't know who Kevin Durant's sources are in this, and I don't know who Sean Marks' sources are in this. But from what I understand and what my sources are telling me, these guys are ready to go.
Well, Sean Marks' sources are like he's negotiating. He doesn't need the sources, right?
I mean, the information's got to come from somewhere, right? It doesn't appear out of thin air.
All right. Well, let me ask you about I'm guessing you're not going to give me any information, but your source, like, are your sources within the organization?
They're very close to the organization.
Well, they'd have to be. They would have to be.
I don't know what that means.
Let's say not so much emotionally close, but physically close in the proximity of the actual stadium itself.
This is starting to make a little bit more sense. Okay. So you're comfortable telling us that much, but not where you are from, right?
I'm starting to feel like I've said too much, guys.
Okay.
All right. Well, then, I feel like, I'm not sure that this is a real trade, that there's any chance of this happening. But I will say this, Sandre Staler. It would have been funnier if your name was Sandre Taylor. I would have liked that. But hey.
Maybe next time we can go over that a little further.
Oh, next time you're on.
When your name changes?
I'm assuming that I will be on again. I mean,
okay.
What I understand, I just crushed this interview.
Oh, wait, did you think this was a job interview?
I got it, right?
Well, I mean, here's what I was going to say next. Similar to Andre Taylor, it's very strange how similar your names are. So weird.
Almost impossible. Continue.
Yeah, almost impossible for it to be in such a close amount of time too.
As basketball guys, you know what Kevin Garnett says. Anything is possible.
All right. Well, I'm going to make you the same offer that I made to Andre Taylor. If this trade happens and it happens in the next couple of days, then you are our insider, and you're back you'll be back on every day.
You got your deal, Joe. I will see you within the next few days because, from what I understand, camp starts this week, and this trade is going to get done within the next few days.
I am speechless. I don't have anything else. Alex, do you?
No, only that you professionally were a producer, and I would have expected you to, that spring this on me. Like, I feel blindsided as your guest, as your co-host on the show.
Well, I feel blindsided because I trusted this Sandre.
Yeah, I'm saying, why? Why did you trust this guy?
He sounded so good.
Great job. I'm real proud of you.
Sorry, you broke up there for a second. What'd you say?
I just said you guys are doing a great job, and I'm real proud of you.
Okay,
well, that's a good way to end this, Sandre.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I don't think we're so very proud of you for what's happening here because I'm fairly certain you are Andre Taylor.
I mean that sounds like a made up name. If I'm being honest, I've never.
Okay.
All right, Sandre Staler, everybody. Thank you. Thanks again,
guys. It's been real. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, no, probably not.
That guy. My God.
Yeah, he got me. It was a last second segment decision.
Okay. I mean, I know we're struggling for content here, but like, couldn't you like?
He seemed legit.
The Sandre Staler was you didn't think of that ahead of time. You didn't make that connection.
I didn't make the connection until right up until.
Right. I saw when you were reading the name, your eyes lit up like, oh, this could be going off the rails quickly.
Yeah.
That was fun. I guess.
Hey, look, a lot of rumors fly around this time of year. And he said it just like Kevin Garnett said it, anything is possible. So until he's proven wrong, we're going to give Sandre the benefit of the doubt. And that means next week, I'm going to go check these DMs. And I'm going to probably bring on another one of these whack jobs.
Joey, are you?
I think this is a regular segment because I like it.
Okay. You're realizing this, like how bad this could go potentially, right?
Well, it's not ruining our credibility. It's ruining the credibility of these people if their rumors are not true.
I'm worried about getting flagged by YouTube if we pull up one of these, some psycho that's going to, I don't know.
Oh, right. Well, luckily, we won't bring them on any of the live shows.
Okay.
Only the pre-recorded ones. So that they, show their nuts or their butt.
That's what I'm worried about. That's exactly what I was getting at.
Yeah, that guy didn't seem like a nuts or butts guy. So I think
no. Good guy. Honestly, it seemed like a solid dude.
Salt of the earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would have not heard that.
We forgot to ask him about dog walking. If that was.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's probably a chance we'll have another shot.
Okay. I guess so.
I just have a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, I think that's a good place to end this episode.
This was the weirdest episode we've had, I believe.
It was
maybe the best too. I don't know.
Yeah, it was something. It would be even better if that trade happens. So we'll see. We'll be back tomorrow. Do we want to go? I think let's go live Thursday this week.
Okay, works for me.
I mean, tomorrow there's the Steelers Ravens game, which may not even happen, or tonight, I should say, Wednesday when this is released, and then. I don't know. I just feel like Thursday seems like a good day, even though there's football, but we'll do it after football.
Yeah, do it after.
All right. Everybody, remember, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, rate, review on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts, and we will see you tomorrow morning without Sandre Staler.